A native of Chicago's South Side, Common is a multi-talented and highly successful musical artist, actor, and youth advocate. His work has earned him multiple Grammy Awards, a 2015 Academy Award for the song Glory, featured in the movie Selma, a 2015 Golden Globe Award, a 2015 NAACP Award, a 2015 Independent Spirit Award, and a 2015 Critics' Choice Award, just to name a few. Through the Common Ground Foundation he launched in 2000, Common continues to give back to young people in our community. I am very pleased to introduce you to our 2015 commencement speaker, Common.
Good afternoon, graduates. I would like to thank Chancellor Hyman for his wonderful introduction. I would like to thank Mayor Rahm Emanuel for supporting us Chicagoans. I would like to thank the Board of Trustees for the work that you have done to support the city colleges. And I want to salute the City College graduates of 2015. I didn't know if I was gonna salute it like this, but I think, y'all know I started in hip hop, so. I'm just gonna start it off with a salute with a freestyle, all right? All right, I gotta check out a couple so I know every college. It's common sense, y'all. I came to do my thing. First, I salute the graduates of Kennedy King. You know how it is. Yo, I came to party. I gotta salute those that's from Olive Harvey. You know how it is. We gonna keep it tight. Salutations to those from Wilbur Wright. And of course, Constance, I'm coming through, man. I gotta shout out those from Harriet Truman. That's how it be. The style is free. You see, we talking about the colleges of the sea. That's Chicago. You know how it be. We from the Chi, man. I be down with the Chancellor. Her name is High, man. That's how it be. Since I came down. I give love to Hoot, the Chi-town. But you know what time it is. Sometimes I read a text. I gotta give it up to the College of Malcolm X. Yeah, it's like this, I get it done. I got respect for Harold Washington. Yeah, I came down for the fly. I say, what's that college, yo, from the Chi? And that's how it be, since I'm on the scene. I salute the graduates of 2015. I hope I didn't miss anybody. I thank God for being here. I know I'm here to give something to you all, to deliver something to you all that hopefully will be inspiring. But I must say, in the definition of service, you all have inspired me already. Looking at you all and what you have accomplished, talking to some of your fellow graduates, being in this room, and I've been in many places within the past couple of months. This is one of the most inspiring places I've been in my life to see you all here. What are you willing to die for? Live for that. Those are the words that Andrew Young spoke to us as we stood around him at our first rehearsal for the movie Selma. What are you willing to die for? Live for that. That was the motto and the mantra that the people of the civil rights movement had lived by. Well, what were they willing to die for? They were willing to die for the freedom of people. They were willing to die for voting rights. They were willing to die for equality. So they lived for that. That night, I went home after listening to Andrew Young, and I thought I sat on my couch and said, what am I willing to die for? And what am I living for? I started to examine myself and think about what really had I been living for. I had been living to be great. I had been living to be this great artist, this great actor, great person. But as I started to think really what I was truly living for, what really is greatness? Well, that greatness is being great within yourself and using that greatness to inspire others. And the greatest among us is the one who serves. So when I got those words of wisdom and I had that time to reflect and think about what was I doing to be great, I realized that I could do more. I realized that I had to give more. Well, for many years, I considered myself a great artist and a great MC. But I realized at that moment, what can I do to really achieve greatness? I'm talking about the greatness that we see in the Dr. Martin Luther Kings, the greatness that we see in the President Barack Obama's, the greatness that we see in the chancellors like Chancellor Hyman, people who reach their level and inspire others and go and give back. And I realized to reach that greatness, I would have to find my path, believe in my path, and live my path. Well, I was already an artist and an actor doing what I love to do. But how do you find your path? Because many of you have chosen a major or a job that you would love to subscribe to. But the truth of the matter is, the most important thing we can do is find our path. And our path is not necessarily described in just a job. Our path is a calling that the Creator has given all of us as individuals. So that path is the thing where you say, hey, I want to be a technological advisor. That has to be something that you're passionate about. That has to be something that you love to do, not just for money, not just for the recognition from other people, but something that was instilled in you, a seed that was planted in you from the Creator, that is your calling, that is your passion, is one of the things that you have to offer to this world. Well, how do you find your path? When I was 12 years old, I liked a lot of different things, right? I didn't know what my path was. I just knew I liked basketball. I knew I was a good student. I knew I liked music. In fact, I had a teacher named Mr. Brown who I really loved, and he was my math teacher. He looked like Luther Vandross, right? And I would be in Mr. Brown's class acting a fool sometimes just to get attention. Ladies, I don't want to say what I would do in this class because y'all think I was crazy, but it wasn't the nicest thing to do, let me say that. And Mr. Brown would look at me when I would do it. Basically, I was passing gas in his class, right? And I thought that was the way to get the attention from the ladies, but ladies, I recognize that ain't it right now. That ain't how you do it. But I was just acting a fool in Mr. Brown's class. Well, Mr. Brown would look at me after repeatedly acting a fool in his class and would say, quit being a bumbler, which was his word for fool. You're greater than that. And I had already knew that it was something inside of me. I knew it was something I wanted to give to this world. I wanted this world to know that I had lived, that I could contribute something. So when Mr. Brown said what he said, it really was just reinforcement to me. He was saying, you're greater than the way you're acting. Well, sometimes we even act towards ourselves like fools and don't accept our greatness. And I'm here to say that you're greater than you're acting if you don't accept the greatness that you have in you. Well, I didn't know what I wanted to do at that time. I just took those words and knew like, hey, it's something I want to give. At the same token, I love basketball, right? So I was playing bitty basketball at South Central over by 83rd and Ellis. Yeah, and during that time, the best players would get in the game in the first and fourth quarters, and the busters would play in the second and third quarters. I was a second and third quarter player at that time. Well, I got in my first game. I didn't score any points. I didn't get any assists. So I came back to the bench, and I started crying. And I told my coaches, one of my coaches was my uncle, I told him my stomach was hurting. So that's why I was crying. Well, this happened 3 games straight. I kept coming to the bench and my stomach hurt. Well, my uncle threw down his keys and said some words I don't want to say at this prestigious graduation of the class 2015. But the gist of what he said was, if you want to be great, you got to practice at it. You got to work at it. It takes work. You have to train. But in the beautiful words of Khalil Gibran, work is love made visible. Work is love made visible. So that means any profession, any path that you choose is love, because it was instilled and given to you as something that you love to do. And because you love to do it, you're going to extend that love in each and every time you do it. And other people are going to feel that love. Well, I loved basketball, but I hadn't worked at it. So I started getting up those mornings before I went to school, working on my game, dribbling in the basement. Ralph would tell me to cut the noise down, but I was dribbling. And then I would come home after school and dribble and go to the courts and play ball. Well, after a while, I started getting into the games. I started getting points and assists. The next year, I became a first and fourth quarter player. I made the all-star team by that year. Fast forward, y'all seen Just Right. I'm NBA material, right? But that came through working and training. Training is something I love. Well, I hadn't found my path yet, and many of you may have found your path, and I applaud you if you have. But if you hadn't, it's still okay, because I hadn't found my path yet. And it was one evening, I was visiting my cousin in Cincinnati. His name is Ajale. And I was visiting Ajale up, and we sat in this room, and we were like, man, let's write these raps. Let's write some raps, because we had our friends who were older than us. They were like Cincinnati's Run DMC. So we were like, let's write these raps, man. So I decided to write my first rap. In fact, I'm going to kick it for y'all. Here it is. I said, well, let me tell you about a trip a time ago. I was going there to run a cold-blooded show. When I was there, I saw some people jamming too. They called themselves the Bond Hill Crew. Dr. Ice, Romeo, and Master E, all of the Bond Hill crew, rapping to a T. I asked them, could they rock with me? That's all I remember from that, y'all. But well, little did I know that I had found my path. I had found my voice. I found it in fun and something that I love to do just by writing. But little did I know that I had found my expression, that I had found my calling. Little did I know that this voice would take me to Japan, to Africa, to countries in Europe, to Australia, to the White House to meet the first black president and first lady, to Cuba, to the Oscars, to the 2015 City College graduation. I have found my path. But finding your path is only the beginning to your greatness. And I want to remind you that each and every soul in this building is created to be great. God didn't create any of us to be okay. We were created to be great. But finding your path is only the beginning to your greatness. The second step is believing in your path. Believing in your path. Now, believing in your path is essentially believing in yourself, believing in you. And believing in your path, it takes work. It's something that you just don't get overnight, because some people have false belief. But true belief exists even when the storms come. True belief exists when you're enduring the hardest of times, believing in your path. It's funny, I've been putting out records, I released videos, and it traveled the world, and knew I was like, yeah, I'm a dope MC, I'm good. But I realized that I truly didn't believe in myself. I'm talking about with every molecule, with all that I had. And I realized that through a breakup I had with Erykah Badu. Y'all know Erykah Badu, Window Seat? Yeah, I know window seat real well, yeah, you know? Well, well, through this process of the breakup, I started to learn about myself. Started to examine myself because I was going through those tough times. You know, them breakups can get to you sometimes, right? Yeah. Fellas don't admit it, but we go through it too sometimes. Well, I was really getting a chance to learn about me and examine myself and see who I was. And one thing I learned, one of the most important lessons I learned about believing in myself, I found that I was willing to dim my light for others, that I was willing to dim my light for other people, not just in that relationship, but if I got around people who were considered the greats, people who were stars, people who I thought had more qualities than I did or were more talented than me in a certain area, I was willing to dim my light. But see, our light is created to shine upon the world. Our light is created for everybody to see it. As it says, a lamp is not created to be put under the bed, but it's created to be put on the lampstand so everybody that walks in that room can see that light. Well, we all have that light to shine on this world. And there's a quote that I have received from Nelson Mandela that he said in a speech. It really came from a woman named Marion Williamson, and I'd like to share this quote with y'all. It has something to do with our light, because our light is very powerful. It says, our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. We're here to serve the world in a big way. And when you're on your path and you believe in your path, there may be people that doubt you. There may be people around you who say, no, why are you trying to do this? What are you thinking about? Why are you doing that? You need to take this route. You need to go and go to this college or pursue this job. And it may be people that love you. It may be your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your cousin, your aunt, maybe even your mother. When my mom, when I first decided I wanted to go leave Florida A&M, which is the college that I attended, to pursue my rap career, which was my dream and my passion, my mother was, she's an educator. My mother's, she's a teacher, a principal, now working with the board, and she was like, what are you trying to leave school for? We good. You got financial aid, you good. What are you trying to leave school for? I'm like, I want to pursue my rap career, Ma. I got a dream. This is what I want to do. Martin Luther King dream. I got a dream. Well, she said, nah, man, you need to stay in school. I done worked hard, and this is the way you will get to where you need to get to. You stay in school. Well, I decided to pursue my rap career. Fast forward, years later, she like, hurry up and make another album. I need a new car. Yeah, Ma. Well, believing in your path is about believing in yourself. And sometimes there will be people to tell you that isn't your path. But it's important that you believe. The one who has to believe most is you. And a good process and a good way to go when you do believe in yourself is to start surrounding yourself with people that believe too. People that can support that belief. Yes. So during this time where I realized that I was willing to dim my light, I had to work on my belief. I started working on my belief, and in the process of me working on myself and saying, hey, getting up every day saying, hey, this day is going to be great. I can achieve these things in this day, claiming that. I also started to surround myself with people that believe. And one of the persons that I surrounded myself with was Kanye West. And y'all know Kanye has no problem believing in himself, right? Well, during the time he was working on finishing up the album, College Dropout, and I was working on my album, B, Kanye, we would do what you call listening sessions. That's when you play your music for the journalist. You preview your album before it comes out. Well, during Kanye's listening sessions, he would jump up on the table and be rapping songs and sweating and spitting, like, because he feeling it. And there were songs I ain't even liked that I started liking because he was rapping them so hard. Belief is contagious. Belief is contagious. Well, I started to believe in myself. And when it was my turn to do my listening sessions, no, I didn't hop up on the table because that wasn't my style. But I started to say, man, this album right here is classic, y'all. This album is incredible. I was rapping the songs where usually I would sit in the corner and try not to offend anybody because I felt like I really love my song, but I don't want them to think I'm too arrogant. Well, I decided to rap my songs because I really felt them. And I started to say these songs, and I said, this is classic, y'all. Check this out. And lo and behold, when I released the album B, it was the first album that I released that came out and got immediate classic reviews. Yes. The album went on to receive 5 Grammy nominations for that year. And that same year, I received the first acting role after years of practicing acting. I received the first acting role, first callback and acting role in a movie called Smoking Aces. Yes. I was like, this belief thing is working, man. This belief thing is for real. Well, after 5 Grammy nominations and this belief thing working, I figured my first time in Australia, I'm on the beach, we got one day off, and I'm thinking of my Grammy speeches. Like, okay, I got 5 Grammy nominations. I need to come up with at least 3 speeches. I could freestyle the other 2, right? So I come up with 2.5 speeches. Fast forward to Grammy night. I'm in my cream suit. My mother's right there with me. It's the first time she's ever come to an award show. Kanye is with his mom, Dr. Donda West, God bless her soul. John Legend is with his mom. Good music is in the building. Well, on the way to the Grammys, they announced 2 of the awards that I was up for. And I didn't get those 2 awards. So I was like, okay, cool, 3 speeches, 3 awards, I'm good. We sit down in the Grammys. It's a great award show. Kanye goes up and gets 2 awards. John Legend performs and gets 2 awards. They announced 2 more of the categories I was up for, and I didn't get those 2 either. So I'm like, man, this is, I'm gonna have to put all my speeches into one. They gonna turn the music on me. Well, Ludacris comes up to announce the award for Best Rap Album. And I knew it was serendipitous. Because Ludacris had always said, Common was one of my favorites, you inspired me. He had always said that, so I was like, this is just the way, the things worked out. So as Ludacris opens the envelope, he's like, yes, I want y'all to give it up for my man. And Kanye like, yeah, you got this one. And I'm like, yeah, I got this one. And he said, y'all give it up for my man. I start rising up out of my seat. Give it up for Kanye West. You gotta keep that smile on your face because the camera's on you, right? You're happy for your boy, but you're hurting. You didn't get 1 award out of the 5 that you were nominated for. That night, we went to the Grammy family party, which was the good music party that we had thrown for the Grammys. Kanye walking in with his Grammys and his mom. John Legend walking in with his Grammys and his mom and his girl. And I'm walking in with just my mom. I mean, I love my mother, but I could have had a Grammy over here at least. I really believed that I was going to receive those Grammys. I truly believe. I believe enough so that I came up with speeches. But belief is only the second step to your greatness because you have to live your path. And what living your path means is that you're going to face challenges, and everything that you want is not going to come exactly when you want it every time. Living your path means that everything comes in divine time, and you knowing that, know that these challenges are there for you to grow, there for you to progress. Well, I didn't get those awards, but the next morning I was on the phone with Kanye, believing and knowing that I had to live my path. Because that next morning, he said, let's get back in the studio. I said, yeah, let's get back in the studio. And we released another album that next year, and I got a Grammy for a song that I, just created. It was a song on the album called Southside, and we received a Grammy for it. I use these Grammys as metaphors for you all to understand that we will all face challenges and things that we believe and want. You will face the challenges in life that many of us have faced in Chicago, dealing with whether it's violence, dealing with lack of jobs and lack of opportunities, dealing with family situations, people being imprisoned, and dealing with the police brutality that's happening so much in our country. The challenges that we face, the human challenges of just being able to support ourselves and keep our health and self-esteem up, or just achieve in the courses and still go out and work the job. Those are the challenges that we will experience that take us to greatness. Because the greatest people that we've seen out there, whether it's Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, Beyonce, Dr. King, Gandhi, they all face challenges. But as Frederick Douglass said, without struggle, there is no progress. These challenges are the things that will build your character, build us up to be strong, build us up to be wise, build us up to persevere, and also, in the act of service, build us up to be able to give back to others. Because if you haven't been through anything, how can you share your experiences and share your wisdom with the future? One of the reasons that Chancellor Hyman can come up here and tell you all a story so passionately and tell you all a story and it resonates is because she's been through it. She's experienced it. And whether your experience is exactly like hers or not, we all experience struggles. We all do. But there's a lesson in each struggle we experience, even in the death of loved ones. My cousin that I spoke of earlier named Ajale, who I wrote my first rap with, was my best friend. And he died in 2009 in a motorcycle accident. And when I got the call, I couldn't believe it. And I was hurt, I wasn't accepting it, and I was trying to figure out asking God, like, why did this happen? I didn't get all the answers right then and there, but I started to examine my cousin Ajale's life, and I realized that Ajale was a person that was willing to take risks. He was adventurous, and that was something that I needed within myself. Ajale was the type of person that would go zip lining. He would dive off of cliffs and water rafting, and this is a black dude, you know what I mean? Of course he's black, he's my cousin, huh? Well, even in the death of my cousin, I learned a lesson about what I could not only appreciate his life, but I also understood that I could take more risk by examining his life, that I could be more adventurous. Maybe not in diving off of cliffs, but in the business ventures that I take, in the way that I approach my music. There's a lesson in each and everything that comes in our lives. Well, I didn't know that was funny, but it must have been something on the screen, huh? Well, look, there's actually a passage that I use from the Bible, and I know we're not in church, but, well. This is from James, the book of James, chapter 1. And it says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. Know that the trials that you face create perseverance, and that perseverance creates character. And that character will be there so you will not be afraid and will be complete, not lacking anything." Not lacking anything. We all want greatness, don't we? Do we all want greatness? Yes, class of 2015, come on, City College. Chicago, we all want greatness, right? Yes. Well, to achieve that greatness, you have to be complete, not lacking anything. Because as much as I tell you about the greatness that we achieve professionally, What's even more important than what we do professionally is the greatness in our character, how we act as human beings. Because greatness is not something that you just show only in your profession or only in the love that you have in art or music or engineering or education. Greatness is in how we treat each other as individuals, how we treat ourselves, how we treat our family members, how we treat the homeless person, how we treat our enemies. You know, anytime you want to continue to climb, because in greatness, as you continue to travel up, it will always be more difficult. The higher you go up the mountain, things will become more difficult. It's like when you think about a mountain, the altitude is, the higher you go, the altitude becomes higher, right? And that's what makes it harder to breathe. The higher you go, it's becoming harder to breathe. But the one thing you can know is that you've climbed that high already. And you could take a stop, a pause, and just be grateful for being in the present moment of how far you've already climbed. And when you look higher and see that mountaintop, you can see it, know that you will get there. You can see that mountaintop, know that you will get there. You all have climbed high already, but know that there's a higher places to go. There are higher places to achieve. This is the beginning. And it's something that I want to remind you of as you achieve these things and go through these challenges, that you are here to serve others. You are here to achieve these things so that you can provide for others. It starts with you providing for yourself and providing for your families, providing for your communities, and then you provide for the world. I want your eulogy resume to be stronger than your work resume. So your eulogy resume, as spoken by David Brooks, are the characteristics that you want to hear. If somebody was speaking at your eulogy, they could say, she was a brave woman, she was an intelligent woman, she was a caring woman. He was really a compassionate person. He understood people and he listened very well. Your work virtues will be there. He achieved, they graduated in 2015. They went on to get their master's and doctorate, and they did, a school is named after them. Those things will happen because of your work, but really the effect that you have is because of the virtues, your eulogy virtues. I just want to end by saying that service has taught me a lot. You know, many days I'm like, man, I gotta go do this, I gotta go work and do this. But when I get to be here and see you all and be in the energy of what you all have achieved, this is one of the most inspiring times of my life. And to be here, it's one of the greatest honors I've had. Thank you. And I just would like to end because service has meant so much to me, and my service has been reignited by being a part of Selma and the song Glory, and just getting to go out and know that so many people are served and sacrificed so that we can be here. That I would like to share this quote that Dr. King said, and it has to do with service. It says, if you want to be important, wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. That's a new definition of greatness. And this afternoon, this morning, the thing I like about this is that given the definition of greatness, it means that everybody can be great because everybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree, even though you all just got a college degree, and we salute that. Yes, we celebrate that. You don't have to make your subject and your verb agree to serve. You don't have to know about Plato and Aristotle to serve. You don't have to know Einstein's theory of relativity to serve. You don't have to know the second theory of thermodynamics and physics to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love, and you can be that servant. Thank you. David Collins, what up, y'all? David, sorry I missed you. God bless you.
Right. So, for all that you do to help young people find their path, for all that you do to inspire so many around the world, for all that you did for Chicago, and certainly for coming here and being with us today, and just for your many years of service and your inspiration, City Colleges would like to present you with an honorary Associates of Arts degree.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, can we take a picture right here?
And if you can take a seat briefly, our students would like to thank you with
Okay,
something.
and I'd like to thank you all once again. Thank you, City Colleges, class of 2015. God bless you.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours. It will be ours. So, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure. We will be sure. Oh, glory.
Glory, glory,
Oh,
glory,
glory.
glory.
Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon formed against, yes, glory is destined. Every day women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skin become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtaposition in us. Justice for all just ain't specific enough. One son died, his spirit is revisiting us. True and living in us. Resistance is us. That's why I rose and sat on the bus. That's why we walk through Ferguson with our hands up. When it go down, we women and man up. They say stay down, and we stand up. Shots, we on the ground. The camera panned up. King pointed to the mountaintop, and we ran up.
When the glory comes, it will be ours. It will be ours. Oh, one day. When the war is won, we will be sure, yeah, we will be sure. Glory,
Glory, glory,
oh,
glory.
when the war is not over, victory isn't won, but we will fight on to the finish. And then when it's all done, we will cry glory,
Glory,
glory. Oh,
glory,
we will cry glory. Oh,
glory, glory,
glory, glory,
glory.
Psalmist now for every man, woman, and child. Even Jesus got his crown in front of a crowd. They march with the torch, we gon' run with it now. Never look back, we done gone hundreds of miles. From dark roads, heroes, to become a hero. Facing the League of Justice, his power was the people. Enemy is lethal, a king became regal. Saw the face of Jim Crow under a bald ego, the biggest weapon is to stay peaceful. We sing. Our music is the cuts that we bleed through. Somewhere in the dream we had an epiphany. Now we right the wrongs in history. No one could win the war individually. It takes the wisdom of the elders and young people's energy. Welcome to the story we call victory. The coming of the Lord, my eyes have seen the glory.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours. It will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure. We will be sure, yeah. Glory, glory, glory. Oh,
Glory,
we will cry glory.
glory,
No,
glory, glory.
we will cry